It is Wednesday, June 26, 2024. This is another edition of Baseball Today, presented to you by our friends over at Factor. It also happens to be my father-in-law's birthday. So, John Tungayan, I know you're not watching, but happy birthday. And get that out of the way. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan, intern Tommy along for the ride as well. Ooh, I know you mean business today. You got your gamer on.
Yeah, I think I'm going to say some pretty mean things today. So when I have my glove
boy.
on, it usually calms me down a little bit. So that's why I have it.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get it going with a tip of the cap. And there's nothing not nice you can say. I know that's like triple negative, but Shohei Ohtani, leadoff homer, Dodgers win on the south side. He made a little history. He tied the Hall of Famer Roy Campanella 9 straight games in Dodgers franchise history with an RBI. Dude is special. Don't get your Shohei fatigue on, people.
How could you ever have Shohei fatigue? I mean, he just does everything right. I love the guy. Love watching him hit. I love seeing him in a uniform. Everything is perfect with this guy. I want to go buy some of his gear. The New Balance gear, I'm in on. I'm going to buy some Shohei stuff.
Okay. Good for him.
They want to send it to me.
Wow. I mean, he is a CAA client, just like you are. You can't.
I was a CAA client.
You're once a CAA client, always a CAA client. You bite your tongue, Trevor Plouffe. All right, we'll start our discussion today. Mets taking the opener of the Subway Series as they steamrolled the coal train.
And Nimmo cracks one to deep right field.
Hey.
Near the wall. It's out of here. Brandon Nimmo adds a home run. A 2-run shot. The Mets' 4th home run of the night against Garrett Cole. And they're putting a tattooing on the Yankees Cy Young Award winner. It's 6-0 in the 4th inning.
We'll get to Garrett Cole momentarily. However, I want to spin back the clock to May 29th at 12:02 p.m. Eastern when I declared the Mets season dead. Since then, they are 16-7. Recently, you said I don't need to apologize. Do I?
I don't think you need to apologize, Chris. But look, man, I've been there where you're at, dude, and even worse because it was the Mariners. They went on this historic run. I've been where you're at, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to apologize. I think what you were doing was just living in the moment, and that's okay. That clip does make me look really good because I said, I do think they have the players to have a run. They can go on a run, and they've done that. The offense has been a huge part of it. Do you have to apologize today? I'll say yes, because you said they couldn't even go on a run. And I think that was a little bit harsh at the time.
Well, I did think I said that they could have a nice couple of weeks. Do I think that they could then get to the playoffs and go deep into October? I said, if that's the qualification, then their season is dead. As of right now, they're out of the playoff chase. They're very close, and they've played exceptionally well. Their starting rotation has done some very, very good things. They're a different team when they've got their young catcher who's a stud behind the dish. Mark Vientos, I mean, I felt like all along he should have been playing. I don't know why he started the year in the minors. I mean, I get it. Once J.D. Martinez, came along and they were like, well, we don't have a place for him. He's taken over the third base role. They're in good shape. So I suppose I will apologize for declaring them dead. Either that or they've got great doctors. But I'm still not 100% on that they're going to make the playoffs and go on some sort of deep run.
When I see Mark Vientos in like a tank and the chain popped and eye black, hat backwards after the game, it's the kind of swag that I like to see in a winning clubhouse. So I'm kind of in on the Mets right now. And it's not because of Grimace. Please stop.
No, I told you last week that the whole Grimace thing, they didn't buy in because they didn't even send a player out to catch his first pitch. They sent out some dude who doesn't know how to catch a baseball. So you cannot ride the Grimace train and be like, yeah, it's all about Grimace when not one of the ball players wanted to go catch his first pitch.
Because nobody knew who he was. Sorry, Grimace.
That one's still shocking to me that you didn't know who Grimace was. We're going to have to send that one out on social media. Did you know who Grimace was prior to the Mets run?
If you're under 40 years old, you don't know who Grimace is.
God, that's disappointing.
I can't believe I have to say that to include myself now, since that is like where I'm at. Just right under 40.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it gets worse, brother. It gets way worse. Just want to let you know. Good for the Mets. I hope it continues. It's been fun watching them do their thing. By the way, Jolly did he went at me. He trolled me a little bit last night. He was like, "Thank you, Chris Rose." And I responded back to him on X. I said, "Hey, as long as I get like a playoff share, I'm happy to own it if it comes to October and they're in the playoffs. Happy to do so."
That's not going to happen.
Very quickly, let's touch on Garrett Cole. Second start wasn't good. Because he's missed almost half the season with an injury, should Yankee fans be more worried than usual with his slow start?
I don't think so. I don't know if that's just because I've seen Garrett Cole be dominant for so long that I just have faith that he can do that. The velo dip, could be worrisome, but he clarified after the game that he felt like he didn't have command, so he wanted to kind of tone it back to see if he could get it. If there wasn't an explanation on that, I'd be a little interested in to see what's going on with him, but I believe he'll be fine. It's not an easy atmosphere to go pitching. I don't know. Like even guys like Garrett Cole have off nights, and you go into Citi Field and the guys are playing good ball and you're getting banged around a little bit. Like the Yankee fans have a lot to be worried about right now. And they certainly are worried about their team. But I think Garrett Cole will be fine.
Yeah, I hope he'll be fine, but how can you not be walking on eggshells a little bit if you're a Yankees fan because of what has gone on with Garrett Cole? This is the first time that he's been injured. There's a difference between hurt and injured. He was injured. And, everybody was holding their breath when he was getting imaging done and all sorts of stuff. And that's natural. So when a guy's throwing 91 last night, he did have an explanation that, you're a machine. You got to throttle back sometimes. But we don't see 91 out of Garrett Cole. We just don't see that. That's not who he is. So when you do see that, and when guys are turning for 4 homers in a game, and maybe most importantly, when he's not registering a single strikeout in 4 innings of work, then that means that, in 5 days from now, we're all going to be like, okay, can he shake out of this?
I think Yankee fans are worried about Garrett Cole, but I think it's down on their list of things they're worried about right now.
Okay. Hey, by the way, we don't ever say this, but if you don't mind hammering the like button, that helps us a little bit. We've gotten some really good numbers lately. So as you're watching on YouTube, and we know that there's a great group of you who tune in every day live, if you don't mind hammering that thing, that'll help. What?
We never asked for this. Okay.
You know what? Why? There's nothing wrong with it. It's how we.
I feel like a true YouTuber right now. Like and subscribe, please.
It's all good. It's all good. Just wanted to throw that out there. Padres and Nats. Well, this has been an amazing couple days. You remember Monday night when Jerks and Profar hit a walk-off. Here's the ISO of it. So as he's rounding the bases, he appears to look into the Nats dugout and give them a little like, I can't believe you walked a guy in front of me. I came back and did that. He said he was just trying to rile up the fans. Well, first at bat on Tuesday night, Keibert Ruiz stops him at the top of the club and says, yo, man, you don't have a pass to get in here. I mean, he put his hands on him and everything. Later in the at-bat, former Padre Mackenzie Gore hits him in the foot with 98. Mike Schilt comes out. He gets ejected because he wanted Gore ejected. He wouldn't get tossed. Manny Machado then hit a 2-run homer. Took about 98 minutes to get around the bases. Later in the game, Profar, who's been red hot and we'll see in Arlington for the All-Star game, hits a grand slam to seal the game. It was an incredible few nights out there at Petco Park. Here's Profar with what went down, and then Nat skipper Dave Martinez.
Yesterday, after that celebration, they told me that there were players upset. I didn't even knew about them. But, it is what it is. Who cares? Like I said, I don't really care about those stuff.
A good way to send a message like, hey, great, you hit the ball, you won the game, but we're not going to tolerate that.
Let's start first with Dave Martinez's reaction. Oh, you look like you're constipated. You must not have liked it.
What don't you like about that? Dave Martinez is a player, right?
Long time. He played 16 years.
Yeah, someone gets walked in front of you and you come up big. I don't care who you are. You have that type of reaction. Like, okay, you wanted to challenge me, then you got it. Like, I have no problem with what Profar did. Number one, it's at his home stadium. He's saying, this is my house. I have no problem with that. It's a walk-off. even the oldest of old school guys will say, if you hit a walk-off home run or a walk-off hit, do whatever you want. Look at the celebrations that happen on walk-offs. Do whatever you want. I have no problem. And I actually can't believe that Davey Martinez had a problem with that. I can't fathom why he'd have a problem with that, especially being a player, understanding that maybe he's never had anybody walked in front of him and he had success. I don't know. But when you have that feeling, it's good. It was passionate. People, it's entertainment. Like, we have to, like, there was nothing like rehearsed about that. That was pure reactionary joy to a baseball game. And if you don't want to see that in baseball, then you got to get out of the fucking game.
Before you move on to anything else, Dave Martinez just basically admitted his pitcher threw at an opposing player. Now, it was
Is
below
it that, or was it that Ruiz stepped in front of him? Because I don't know. It could have meant either.
Okay, that's fair.
And you said earlier when you were going on describe what happened, you said later in the at-bat, it was first pitch after the warnings.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it was on
warnings given.
purpose. I don't think that was on purpose.
Yeah, there were people in the Padres clubhouse who didn't think it was on purpose either.
But
it doesn't look good.
You warned the two benches.
Yeah.
And first pitch it gets hit. I think you got to ring him. I think you got to toss him.
Well, the umps afterwards said we didn't think it was intentional. And once again, this is getting into such a gray area, and it is difficult. As much as we bash the umpires, this is the hardest thing for them to do, is to figure out, because it wasn't like, I mean, it was a fastball down low.
I just said it. I didn't think it was intentional. And then I said, you got to throw him out. I don't know. I actually don't know how I feel. I think maybe the umpires did get it right. I understand why Schilt would come out and get mad. Like, you know, he just warned us. First pitch, he gets hit. So, like, the optics are horrible right there. But in my mind, like, I'm pretty sure that was not on purpose. And then Machado was first pitch. Like, 2 pitches into the game, we have crazy stuff happen. This is like an insane game.
Did you have a problem with Keibert Ruiz putting his hands on Jerks and Profar?
Yes. I don't know their relationship whatsoever.
I don't think they have one.
Yeah, like Profar was just getting up there ready to hit. Like, again, like he didn't think he did anything wrong. I don't think he did anything wrong. And I don't know, like they mentioned it on the broadcast. You know, I think Machado kind of sparked this whole thing when he went in and got in the middle of them. But hey, man, if you see someone put their hands on your teammate, I think that's the right thing to do. Get up there and separate them.
Yeah, I'm not so sure I dig that out of Keibert Ruiz. I don't mind a guy talking, I suppose.
If I know you, it's different.
Even putting hands on a guy, the guy's about to step into the batter's box to go do his work. How pissed off would you have been?
I've been very pissed off.
Yeah, it just
very pissed off.
Now, with all of this being said, I'm not so sure I buy Profar's explanation from Monday night. I really do think that he was glaring into the Nats dugout.
Who cares? Who cares?
No, I don't care.
This is sports. Like, what are we even talking about? Like, you just walked him off. They intentionally walked the guy in front of you. This is Major League Baseball. We are here to entertain people. Emotions are good. As long as it's not premeditated, some dumbs. I'm all for it. The emotion is good for the game. Like, get over it. You're really that soft. You're really that soft that some guy beats you in a game, celebrates. It doesn't. What did he do? He looked in there and said, "This is my house." It is. It is a stadium. You're that soft that you're gonna get mad at that. Like, come on, man. Like the game has changed. It's gonna continue to evolve. But this is something that I feel like has been fine forever. Pure joy in the moment celebrations on a walk-off. You're gonna get mad at that. That's ridiculous.
I don't have a problem with it. All I'm saying is that I wish Profar had owned it. I wish he would have said, "Yeah, you know what, motherfuckers? I was staring in there. So go get me out next time." Like, I would like to see him up the ante instead of be like, "No, I was staring at the fans and trying to get them riled up." That one I'm not buying. So let's just keep adding on. Let's just go, go, go. By the way, there was one other clip from Monday night. I don't know if everybody saw this, but there was an older gentleman, probably in his mid-60s. I think he said he was 65.
Oh, yeah.
He was pissed off that they threw at Profar's head. And Jesse Winker actually he's into the stands here. He left the dugout, walked into the stands, and Winker and this older gentleman are going at it. What the hell's happening in this series?
I love me some Jesse Winker, but he doesn't need to do this. This is a
No,
little
he
too
knows
much.
better.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the guy said to him. Like, there are certain things. Someone says something to you, like, oh, okay, but like, stay out of the stands. He knows that.
Okay, so the Nats and Padres have 4 more games this year. 1 today, this afternoon at Petco. 3 more in D.C. next month after the All-Star game. Is that the last time benches will clear?
I don't know.
Oh, don't give me that one.
Well, I mean, I wasn't finished, bro. Part of me thinks that the Nats are holding on to this, like, hey, like we're like in playoff contention. Like we can't back down. We have to go. Like there is that mentality in that clubhouse, right? Like nobody believed in us. Here we are. We have to keep being dogs. Like so, there is that. Like as much as Profar was saying, "This is my house," they're saying we got to defend our turf. Like they're like that's the attitude that they're playing with right now. So. I don't want there to be bench clear. I think it's silly, unless it's for something good. I'll say no. I'll say no. I'll say that benches don't clear.
It's going to happen. I don't know if it's this afternoon. It's going to happen because what's going. I think that the Nationals fans are going to be circling this date. They probably couldn't have given 2 shits about the Padres series in mid to late July. Now they've got it circled, and something's going to happen in our nation's capital.
I think Manny Machado might start something. You're right.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Hey, every day, more dog people, more vets. They are getting rid of the kibble, that goo that you get in the cans, pour that in. That stuff's hitting the trash. They are feeding their dogs dog food that is, well, it's actually food. The farmer's dog. It is developed with vets, made fresh from real meat and veggies, portioned perfectly for your dog, and delivered right to your door. It's so simple to get started. You head on over to thefarmersdog.com. This is something I did for our amazing Sydney almost a year ago now. You fill out a little brief questionnaire. How old's your dog, the breed of the dog, how much exercise it gets, what it usually eats, and voila. In just a few days, you get this awesome box of frozen food that is perfectly portioned, and it actually will say your dog's name on it. We've got these great little cute packages that say Sydney, so she has ownership in it. You stick it in the freezer, and about 24 hours before you're ready to use the bag, you stick it in the fridge, and voila, off you go. The thing I love about this is it's not only just real food, but there's all sorts of health benefits. Healthier coat and skin, better breath, which is a big deal because as much as we love our dogs, some of that stuff, it can be hot out there. Easier digestion, which means smaller, better poops. And a healthy diet obviously isn't just important for humans, but for your 4-legged friends as well. So it doesn't matter if your dog is old or young, gets a ton of exercise or not. Now is the right time to begin investing in their health. Thefarmersdog.com/today. You're going to get your first box 50% off, plus you get free shipping. That's a big deal because it's not one of these teeny tiny little jewelry boxes. It's a big ass box that gets to your door, kind of heavy too. So you can, when you get free shipping, that's a good deal. Head on over to thefarmersdog.com/today. Half off that first box because at the end of the day, who doesn't want their dog looking up at them with puppy eyes saying, "Row, ready, row, woo." Pirates fans love what's going on with Brian Reynolds. 22 games in a row he's gotten a hit. Last night, a rocket off of the puke man, Hunter Green. Pirates take care of the Reds. Despite having one of baseball's worst offensive, Pittsburgh's only 2.5 out of the playoff chase. We've talked a lot about their bright young rotation, but how much offense should Pirates try to add before the trade deadline?
I was going to say like all of it, but I don't think that's necessarily true. I mean, like I've talked about the Pirates quite a bit of late. Nothing's going to happen. Third base, shortstop, second base, those positions are kind of locked down. I would look for some platoon advantage at bats for them. There's always the Luis Robert set to center field talk. I mean, that will be amazing for them. I don't know if it's going to get there or not. So I could see them adding an outfield bat and then again some kind of like platoon advantage type at batters. But they got something there, right? Like if you look at the Pirates and you watch them play, like they need offense clearly, but that's kind of like all that they need. And we've seen other teams though, like that's all that they need. And it not all the time works out. We've asked the Mariners to go get offensive upgrades for years. They're still first in strikeout percentage in the league, or last, however you want to say it. They're the worst. The the Marlins, how long have we been asking them to go get offensive upgrades? So it's not as easy as it seems, although I do think that the Pirates have enough of a base there where they can say, let's go make some real trades. We're that close to being serious contenders. So I could see them making a splash trade here. I really could, Chris. And I think if they really want to be taken as serious contenders, they need to do it.
The thing that worries me is that we're not going to know what the innings are going to look like, in particular for Skeens and Jones. We just don't know. I mean, what happens if they get to September, they're 3 games out, and the team's like, this is far and away the most either one of these guys have thrown. And we need to keep them healthy, not necessarily that there's
such an arbitrary thing.
I know.
Dude. Like if you anybody in like seriously, I had conversations about this with the data guys and baseball guys alike. It's the innings are arbitrary. Like you just what's the inning that you don't want to get to? It's real. So they're getting better at monitoring data. And okay, like where are your biomechanics? What's your arm speed looking like? Like they have ways to track the health. And I think my like take on this has changed so much because I was taught that the innings were important, that you have to say he's only thrown 75, so 100 is all he can do this year. And I don't think it's that way. I think you really need to like just pitch. Like you don't know when this is coming. Like if you're feeling good, feeling healthy, pitch. I think that's the way teams are starting to approach it. Sorry for interrupting you.
No, but that's a great point. But to act, even though you have that point of view, to act like it's not out there still, I think is probably inaccurate. I think there are some organizations that have moved on from that philosophy and other ones haven't. I don't know where the Pirates sit right now. They really haven't disclosed anything about these guys. They either kick the can down the road or they're not letting us in, which is probably the more likely of the two answers. So I don't think I'd go overboard. The Pirates, I did a little digging. Their farm system's not great. They only have 3 of the top 100 prospects, and 2 of those guys are, well, you guessed it, pitchers. So they don't have a lot coming. If they do make a trade, I don't think it can be for a rental, except one guy in particular. I would look at Danny Jansen. They've gotten virtually nothing from their catching core this year. Danny Jansen's a pretty solid player. I would try and go get him. It's not going to cost you much. Go get him. Why not? Other than that, I would look for guys that can help you multiple years. I know there's not a ton of those guys out there, but you want to go make a play for a Taylor Ward and you've got a spare pitcher down there in the minor leagues, go do that. I'm in.
The Twins have some outfielders if they want them. They could look to get a corner outfielder from the Twins and kind of ride that wave. I don't think I know, like, if you look at the statistics, and I am right now,
yeah, they're not
28th in OPS, 23rd in runs, 24th in home runs, 21st in stolen bases. Like, they're not really doing anything particularly well. A couple guys could change all of that. Like, it's like, I go back to my Twins. Royce Lewis came back. He's a stud. Obviously, his numbers help the overall numbers, but a spark like that can change a lot of things. Trading for someone for the first time, pointing to your team saying we're like legit contenders, and Skeens can do that for them a little bit. But on the offensive side, if you get a guy in there that can rake, and now all of a sudden you're like, oh, we're going for it. Like that can change teams' fortunes and players' seasons just because of the attitude and the mentality that you have all of a sudden coming to the park.
And by the way, if the Pirates make it as a wild card team, there's not a lot of teams that they feel like they can't handle. If you go Skeens, Jones, Keller in a 3-game set, like, good luck to the other team. Good luck. Tarik Skubal shut down the best team in the National League, 7 scoreless against Philly, outdueled Ranger Suarez in the process. Really, really fun game. Has Skubal been the best starter in baseball through the first half of the season?
One of the best starters. And there's a couple guys that really compare, I would say, especially in the AL. You can say Corbin Burns has had a really good season. I think Skubal's been a tick better than him in some of the statistics. But one guy who's like head to head, it's just actually crazy to look at the numbers, is Tanner Houck. Yep. So I would say that they are pretty similar. And I have all the statistics up right now. Both of them have started 16 games. Only 3 times each of them have not gotten into the 6th inning. Or, excuse me, finished 6. innings. So like they're pitching deep into games. 25 earned runs, I think, for both of them. Although Tanner Houck's pitched 6 more innings. Tanner Houck's only given up 2 home runs. Skubal's getting up 8 home runs. You can look at the FIP. Tanner Houck's got him there a little bit. Stolen bases and stolen bases against, I think, is something you can look at a little bit. Tanner Houck has 8 stolen bases against him to 0 caught stealings. Tarik Skubal, because he's a lefty, 3 stolen bases to 2 caught stealings. So like that means something. Corbin Burns has like 25 stolen bases again. It's not particularly good, but I would say that it's Houck and Skubal right now. They've been incredible.
I love watching Skubal pitch, man. He cranked it up to 101 last night.
Filthy
left side.
changeup.
Yeah, he's really, really good. I think last night, what did he get? 19 swings and misses? Is that what I wrote down? Something
it's awesome to look at the numbers for Houck and Skubal. Houck 18 walks to 101 strikeouts. Skubal 19 walks to 112 strikeouts. So they're both like filling the zone up. It's pretty good.
Seth Lugo has to be in the conversation.
He
He continued just in part because of the innings and the dominant innings that he's given the Kansas City Royals. His teammate Cole Reagans has been phenomenal. Zach Wheeler has been great. Houck, though, the thing I love about him, his shortest start this year is 5 2/3.
Yes.
Like usually through the first half of the year, there's a clunker in there for everybody. 4-inning start, 3 2/3. You just get lit up. It happens. You're going to start 32 times. He has not had that.
Most runs he's getting up is 4.
Earned
runs, excuse me. He had a 7-run, but 4 earned runs.
Yeah. So I'm going to go Houck over Skubal, but by maybe that much. Maybe.
I would say that's how I would lean as well. Although some of the expected numbers weigh heavily to Skubal, which is interesting.
Yeah. Hey, today's episode of Baseball Today is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.yeah. Summer travel officially heating up as we are approaching the end of June, especially for you baseball fans out there. It's time to explore those U.S. cities you always secretly wanted to learn a little bit more about. And yes, we are talking about your arch rivals cities with hotels and bed and breakfast and vacation rentals and resorts and so much more available on your fingertips at Booking.com. You might just find the perfect stay. Yes, even in your baseball rival cities. Like, you look at those stadiums that you've played in for years and years, you're like, I don't want to go there. And I definitely don't want to go to that city. Well, slow your roll a little bit. Check it out on Booking.com. You can find all sorts of places. Heck, you might even find a hotel or an Airbnb or whatever it is that overlooks your rival stadium. You go, okay, that looks interesting. Then you hit the stadium, you start walking around, you're like, okay, it doesn't suck here. Then you walk into the stadium, you're like, okay, I am so happy I did this. So you got so many choices, and it's just a little fingertip away. So the right stay can make you a fan of any U.S. city, even your rivals. Book today on Booking.com, an official accommodation partner of Major League Baseball, on the site or in the Booking.com app. Go do that this summer. It's fun for the whole family. All right, this wasn't fun for Texas A&M. Certainly not a good 24 hours. They end up losing in the best-of-3 College World Series against Tennessee. And then afterward, their coach, Jim Schlossnagle, he had to sit there and answer some questions, including one from Richard Zane that went something like this. What's your future here at Texas A&M since that Texas job is open?
I think it's pretty selfish of you to ask me that question, to be honest with you. But I left my family to be the coach at Texas A&M. I took the job at Texas A&M to never take another job again, and that hasn't changed in my mind.
Well, less than 24 hours. Guess who took the job in Austin and is leaving College Station? That's right, Coach. Reaction.
This is the guy I said I was going to be really mean to, but now that I look at him, I'm just like, does it even deserve my time? Honestly, you brought your family into this thing. That's insane to me. He owes that guy an apology. And these coaches are always, all I hear nowadays is, oh, the portal, the transfer portal. These guys, there's no loyalty. College coaches have been the most disloyal group of people in the history of the world. They're always going everywhere, and they're always telling people, we're not going anywhere. This is my school. It's like, I don't I don't have the energy or like even want to go in on this guy. Like, first of all, relax a little bit. You're a college baseball coach. Not to take anything away. I know it's hard, but you're acting like this is life or death, dude. You're getting paid a bunch of money to what? Coach baseball. Like, just chill out a little bit and don't bring your family into it when you're blatantly lying to everybody at your press conference. That is a joke, dude. And honestly, if I'm Texas and I went after this guy and then I see that press conference, I got to be like, dude, what did we just get
No, they
into?
won't. No, they won't. You know why? Because
that's what I would feel like, Chris.
they don't care. These institutions don't care. They do
What
not
does that
care.
guy? What does he do that's so good? What?
Well, he was at
Let me ask you
TCU.
this. Let me ask you this.
Yep.
You have to recruit, right? Like
Yes.
that is the main job
Mhm.
as a college baseball coach. You got to recruit. I had one of my best friends coached at LSU, and he was on the recruiting trail all the dang time. If I'm a parent of a recruit that Texas is on the radar, I'm not sending him there anymore. I'm not. You're going to go play for this guy? He is a blatant liar. He could change it up at any given time. He said, I moved away from my family to take this job I never had to take another job again. The facts are he's a liar. I'm not sending my kid there.
That's your right.
Is that not wrong? Am I wrong?
No, you are not wrong.
Here?
No, here's what you're missing. That whole world is a lie. The NCAA, almost virtually every sport is a lie because they walk into your house and they're like, we're going to take care of your kids. And remember, those are one-way contracts. They can let you go at any time.
Yes.
So they could say, hey, it's not working out. Beat it. And the kid who signs a contract with the school can get into the transfer portal. There's lying going on all over the place. There is no loyalty.
Circles around Jim Schlosinger.
Schlossnagel?
I'm not making fun of his name. I just don't know his name, but I would coach circles around that guy.
Listen, dude, am I disappointed? Yes, because I would like to believe in humankind a little bit more, but I'm not shocked. I am not. People are like, hey, did you see the coach? He lied.
And on the other side, the guy that beat him is like, he's also pouring his heart and soul into the organization. He's still there. He won the College World Series. He's jumping into the stands with his fans. Like, I'd rather send my son to that school.
Dude, I get it. But people are going to forget pretty quickly. I mean, he will forever, I suppose, have that stain because it's available with just one click away.
Brutal. It's
bad.
Brutal,
and you're right.
dude.
You're right. He owes Richard Zane an apology. He owes him an apology because he got all over him. He could have handled it this way. Hey guys, listen. Tonight's about our kids. They played in the last game of the college baseball season, and I am super proud of them. I understand the question.
He said it's selfish of you to ask the question.
Right. So that I'm just telling you, listen, I wish people would hire me. I don't always say the right thing, but when it comes to this stuff, I'm really good with it. So maybe I should start a consulting business coaches that need to be guided on this stuff. Because I'll tell you this, your communications directors are not doing it.
My biggest piece of advice for Jim is to relax a little bit. It ain't that serious, dude. And I guess, it's college baseball. You can be into it as much as you want, but your main job, I think, as a college coach is develop great young men, and you're off to a bad start with that press conference.
Yes or no? Does somebody at the introductory press conference in Austin ask him about that?
100%. They better.
No. There's a difference.
Do you think, okay, you're saying, okay, I don't know. Yeah, they will. Yes, they will. Yes, they will.
Okay. Sometimes these bully coaches.
And what's he going to say? I actually can't.
What do you think he would say?
He's got to apologize. I don't know. Like, has he like came out and said anything after this? Like, have we had like a 24 hours, take a chill pill, let me make a statement thing?
No, I've just seen like he and his top 4 lieutenants are all going to Austin. Like I've seen a little, but we haven't seen anything official yet. I mean, it's
like I have a lot more to say, but I'm just not going to. I don't know.
Last thing,
not a fan.
Speaking of the state of Texas, our buddy Austin Hedges, he finished there last year with the Rangers, ended up getting a ring with Texas. Now he's trying to get his current teammates in Cleveland to Texas for the All-Star game.
Well, The only thing better than this outfit I'm wearing right now is Jose Ramirez at baseball. Okay? It's the heart and soul of our team. He deserves a start in the All-Star game. You like someone who covers more ground than these chaps cover my butt? That's Stephen Kwan for you, starting left fielder, 2024 All-Star game.
For you that are audio only, you're welcome. Good choice today, because that's Hedges wearing his chaps, which incidentally he purchased because we talked about it on the Rose rotation, and he didn't bust them out on the parade route with the Rangers, but he did to get the Guardians to the All-Star game. So do you think that little skit will help or hurt his teammates' chances?
Well, as is, I think it might hurt if we unblur those images. People, it's 2024. We can't see a little butt cheek. What are we doing here? Show the butt cheek. Those guys will be in the All-Star game, no problem.
Do you think Hedgie's got a hairy ass or not?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, looks
Yes,
like
I
it.
do.
Okay. Can't wait till we talk to him about it. And he's been shotgunning Red Bulls too before the game starts, and he is having the time of his life, that dude.
Is he just going to transition straight into Stephen Vogt's bench coach? Like just two grinders leading that team the rest of the way?
I think he actually might become the team mascot.
Okay.
I think he's already there.
That's a little harsh.
He's already there. All right, we're back at it again on Thursday. We're going to try for 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Want to shoot for that?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Don't forget to get your factor question of the weekend by Thursday night. You guys have done such a good job on that. And then we'll reveal it on Friday, and you'll become famous. It's very simple. For our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, awesome intern, Tommy Young, the uber-talented Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose. We will see you Thursday on Baseball Today, presented to you by Factor.